So we've been sat in Riposto Marina for over a week now, and it's not been particularly crazy, but the forecasts keep showing wind all around us and us being in a right wind hole. But today it's finally come here, and kind of glad we haven't been sat here for nothing. But what we have been doing is coming here to avoid this. This is Intrepid Bear, a 40-foot sailboat off to explore the world with her crew Ian and Kate.
Come aboard and let's see what's out there.
It's not often that you moor at the foot of an active volcano. Mt Etna is reputed to be Europe's most active volcano, and it smoked and rumbled in an ominous but awe-inspiring display the whole time we were there. On one occasion, on a day that we couldn't see the mountain, we heard some distant booms and joked about the volcano erupting. It was only when we received concerned messages from friends and checked the news, we realised that it had, and the nearby town of Catania had been covered in ash. So first sunny day since we've been here really, and this morning, although it's gone cloudy again now, we did see the top of Etna. We got a car hired today, and we're going to go up to, not right to the top, but we're going to go up to what's called the Silvestri craters. Hired a car, 40 euros for the day. In Montenegro for 40 euros, well for 26 euros in the winter in Montenegro, you get a brand new car. Appreciate that's the winter and this is the season. In the season in Sicily for 40 euros, you get... For 40 euros in Sicily in season, you get a rather battered Fiat Panda. But it's going to get us up the mountain, so...
You hope.
Well, yes, we hope it's going to get us up the mountain.
As we drove up the sides of the volcano, the lush green vegetation gave way to a more sparse lava field landscape until we arrived at the 1900-metre high site of the Silvestri craters, where there was virtually no vegetation.
The now dormant Silvestri craters were formed during an eruption in 1892. They are around 1,000 metres below the current active summit. To visit the active crater requires by law an expensive guide, 4x4s and a hike that was perhaps beyond our current levels of fitness. The Silvestri craters, whilst an awe-inspiring landscape with glimpses of the active summit, left us a little underwhelmed for some reason that we couldn't pinpoint. It may have been the lack of smoke and fumaroles or the incredible amount of people, but it just didn't light our fire, so to speak. I dare say that a visit to Etna's active crater would have been a altogether different experience.
We spent around 10 days in Riposto Marina, pinned down by unsuitable weather. But while we were there, we were quite productive, making repairs to the kicker and water maker, making several episodes for YouTube, and trying to clean some of the red rain from the sails. Eventually a weather window presented itself for us to set sail up the impressive Straits of Messina towards the incredible Aeolian Islands.
Okay, so there we go. We've cast off, we're heading out of the harbour. Kate's just tidying up the last fenders. It was 58 euros a night, so 11 nights, and the fuel, so that's nearly £1,000 we spent here. I suppose about 800, no sorry, euros, 800 euros. Fuel was £1, €1.90 a litre. So yeah, we're all done and we're heading out. Next stop, the Aeolian Islands. So we put the boat on auto on the track towards the bottom of the Messina Straits. It's not a lot of wind out here at the moment. The apparent wind is right on the nose. The actual wind is coming from our beam, but it's only blowing at like 3.5 knots, so that's not really enough to do much. We're kind of on a deadline to make sure we get through Messina with the tide. We might be well early because the tidal might start boosting us, but the last thing we want to do is be punching a 4-knot tide against us in the Straits of Messina. So we're going to motor. If the wind gets favourable, yes, we'll stick the sails up, but for a while we're just going to motor on up.
The Straits of Messina are a narrow strip of water that separates Sicily from mainland Italy. The Med doesn't have much in the way of tides, but what tides there are funnel through the straits, creating very strong currents. So it's important to find the correct time to transit. This website helps.
It's quite a nice day. I've got my side shade up for the first time this year. It's hot on this side of the boat. The sea's glassy calm, a little bit more wind wouldn't go amiss, but better this than blowing a hoolie. And we're just motoring up, just coming up towards the town of Taormina, where we visited in the rain. It looks a lot nicer today up there on the hills. And yeah, just pointing our way up towards the strait. We've got about 5 hours to go till we reach the TSS, the traffic separation scheme, at the bottom of the strait. Hopefully we'll start picking up a bit of tide in maybe 2 or 3 hours. So the breeze has picked up to 8 knots of true wind, which translates to 4.45 knots of apparent wind just after the beam, which is an excellent sailing angle. So we will stick up the head sail. We'll just go for the head sail for now, because we've only got about an hour to the waypoint, and then we have to turn, so it might not fit as well. Could you be quiet, radio? Thank you. Yeah, so we've got 5 knots of apparent wind just after the beam, so we'll stick up the head sail. Should give us a little boost. And we won't do the main yet, because as I say, we're turning in about an hour and we're downwind, so we won't be able to get the main down again easily. So we'll just go with the head sail for now, because it's not enough to sail on our own yet, as in without the engine. So head sail it is. So we've got some very dark clouds over to our starboard side on the mainland of Italy, and some rumbles of thunder. Last thing we really want at sea in a boat is a thunderstorm. There wasn't any forecast today, but I've also put the radar onto weather mode, and I can see behind us there also looks like there's a bit of a storm cell, or a weather system, and the fact that it's purple is the Doppler radar showing that it's coming towards us. It's also possible that the cloud shown behind us is an ash cloud from Etna, because that's been putting a lot of stuff up lately.
There's clearly something going on with the tide here, because the whole knot difference between our sog and our speed, and you can just see it in the way the waves are all sort of wobbly and sort of short chop on the top. A few little white caps there.
Guardia Finanzia patrol boat just zooming by about 30 or 40 knots. So I don't know if they were going to check us out, but it looks like they're just going on by. They don't do anything wrong, but they might have decided to stop and check us. That's what they're out here for. But no, they've carried on by, so it's all good. Back to storm watch. So you kind of see the edge of the rain, and you can see it's light in front of it. It's possible the rain and thunder sort of going down the coast that way. We might just get in front of it if we're lucky. So we'll give VTS a call now, let them know that we're coming through. Messina VTS, sailing vessel Intrepid Bear, channel 10, over.
So calling Messina VTS.
Messina VTS, this is sailing vessel Intrepid Bear, calling you on channel 10, over.
Channel 13, sir.
13. Messina VTS, sailing vessel Intrepid Bear, channel 13, over.
Good evening, your length overall.
Messina VTS, this is sailing vessel Intrepid Bear. We are 12 metres. We are just about to join the strait from the south, heading north if that is in order, over.
There are quite a few questions back and forth, so I won't subject you to the whole conversation.
Okay, I receive. Thank you for cooperation. Stand by 1610 for transit and pay attention in Messina Straits. There are ferry boats and high-speed craft.
Messina VTS Intrepid Bear received, standing by 10 and 16 and high-speed craft noted. Thank you. We're kicking.
3 times chicken.
Pretty good, ready to go.
Always have an extra portion made up when we're looking to go and see soon. So to speak. It's all going on at once.
Thank you. So having dinner sort of underway in a busy strait, which is, you know, it's not the best advice, but what I've got is I've got the remote control switched on, so I had to steer the boat in a hurry. I'd struggled to get sort of past the chair and everything else, so I got the remote, could take it off of navigate because we're following a route plan at the moment, take it off, use the remote and steer, or I can reach the helm, but at least I can disengage it with this whilst we're having dinner. Got the radar going and everything else.
You look that way, I look that way.
Yeah. Not sure how well it shows, but you can see the current swirling around and sort of different patches on the water there. Our speed has picked up now from 3.5 to 4.5, so that's only about, it's only about half a knot below our actual speed through the water. Our speed over the ground is catching up, so feels like the tide is turning. Wind has totally died, as you can see from the sail, but it's not unexpected in the strait that it'll be flopping around a bit. It wasn't forecast to be very strong anyway. But yeah, speed is picking up. Wind's died.
One thing that I was really hoping to see in the Straits was the unique sword fishing boats called spadara. These strange looking craft have an enormous bowsprit from which the swordfish is speared, and an equally huge observation tower to spot them. We were lucky enough to spot one at a distance, and by filming through binoculars with an iPhone, managed to get some closer views, even if the footage is a little shaky.
Do not move. All these little speckles, they're all little fishing boats. There's hundreds of them out here, sort of in the traffic lane. I guess it's quite a rich fishing area with all the current that comes through. So yeah, this is the Strait of Messina. We've been here before, but if you weren't with us then, you've got mainland Italy on that side, Sicily on this side, and there's only a couple of miles between the two. So if we were to go all the way around Sicily to get to Vulcano, it's probably an extra 200 odd miles, but we can come up through the strait as long as we get the tide right, pop out the top, and then it's only 20 or 30 miles across to Vulcano from there. It's a mythological place where the mythological creatures of Scylla and Charybdis, Scylla on the mainland side, Charybdis on the Sicily side, are meant to guard the entrance to the strait, and sailors come through at their peril. Scylla and Charybdis, I think, comes from all the whirlpools and that sort of thing. Because the current is so strong, when the wind is blowing against the current, then it can be pretty horrible down the strait. So at the end of this purple separator, that's the end of the traffic zone. So at that point we can turn and go hard across it, as long as there's nothing coming, because of course we've still got to be aware of ships joining, and there is a big ship further out, which is probably going to be joining the traffic zone, so we need to keep a close eye on them.
Once on the North Sicilian coast, with our course to Volcano plotted, there was, briefly, a perfect breeze to sail gently towards the sunset. As the breeze died at the end of the day, it wasn't long before the engine was back rumbling gently in the background, but with a sunset like this, we weren't complaining.
So there's always the one bonus with motoring, and that is endless hot water. So showers and washing up, you don't have to worry about where the hot water's coming from. Wind's down to near zero, but what a beautiful evening. Not complaining. We're doing 3.7 knots, 1500 revs, just tickling along. ETA is about 6 o'clock in the morning to the top of Volcano, so we'll probably drop the hook about 7 or 8, and we'll have both had a bit of sleep overnight, so we'll have a little bit of a catch up, I'm sure, and then we can explore. Go ashore for a pizza or explore the volcano or whatever we decide to do on the first day we get there. So it's 3:15. I've just come up from my off watch. We were doing like midnight till 4 off watch, but Kate woke up early, so I had my 4 hours from 11 till 3 instead, because we're due in about 5 o'clock. We're going along at 4 knots over the ground, just 3.8 through the water. We've only got the mainsail up. There's very little wind, and it's right on the nose at the moment. It's been up and down through the night. It was glassy calm before I went to bed. Then I heard sails, the engine go off and the sails come up. We started sailing a bit whilst I was in bed. It's quite hard to sleep with sailing. With the engine, it drowns out the noise. It's like white noise in the background. But with sailing, you can hear all the winches, you can hear everything going on, the autopilot, you can hear that going backwards and forwards. So it's actually a lot easier to sleep with the noise of the engine, which is a bit counterintuitive. We're due into the anchorage at 5:05. You can see Vulcano and Lipari on the radar, starting to come on the radar at the bottom right hand corner, bottom left hand corner, sorry. And that's about all there is to report. But looking forward to getting to Volcano at first light. So I'm just trying to find somewhere to drop the anchor. A few more boats than I was expecting. I thought it's sort of early season and there wouldn't be that many out here yet, but it's quite busy. So just trying to find a space. I'll go out the back of the pack, I think, because I want to faff around at this time of day, and drop the hook out there, and then we can maybe change, come closer in later on. Okay, there we are, anchored down, quite a long way out. Hopefully some of these boats will move out, and at lunchtime we can sneak in closer, so it'll be a lot nicer. But it's fine out here, it's nice. Stunning scenery all around, and the volcano up there. You can just about, you probably can't on the camera, but just about see the smoking crater rim up there. I saw it just now, but a bit of clouds come in. But yeah, it's going to be a stunning anchorage for a couple of days. So this is Vulcano. This is the anchorage on the western side of the island. Oh, cruise ship or something. The anchorage on the western side of the island because the wind's coming from the east at the moment, so it's nice and protected on this side. It's quite a tight anchorage, well, it's quite a busy anchorage at the moment. But yeah, it looks stunning. It's very green, and there's the mountain, the volcano, smoking away behind us. We're not going to climb the volcano today because we've been, you know, overnight passaging and we're just recovering from that. So we're going to have a scout around, see what's about, and then look at when we do actually go up to the crater, hopefully sometime in the next couple of days.
Seeing the sleeping giant smouldering just above us, we were incredibly excited to hike up to the crater to see it for ourselves. Please come along with us next time as we hike to the top, check out some more of this island that gave its name to volcanoes all over the world before we sail on to another of the stunning Aeolian Islands. Please keep supporting our channel so that we can maintain and improve our equipment. Every like, comment or share of our video increases our ad revenue that we need to replace and upgrade worn out equipment. The adverts are, I'm afraid, a necessary evil in order to produce these videos for free. But if you really hate them or would just like to help us grow, then please join our amazing patrons who we can't thank enough over on our Patreon page.
Thank you so much for watching.